should be, once you download it, it should be an extension.
Like the bottom left of your Chromebook, there's like a little circle. If you click on that, it'll bring up like all your little applications or whatnot.
Christy, do you have the calculator extension on your Chromebook? Okay, all right. Well, here in a little bit, we're gonna start test, so just checking. We're waiting for announcements. Guess I can get on here and do the, oh crap. Okay. Well, there we go. I was like, what are we waiting for?
Good morning, Westside High School. Please stand for the pledge of which will be led this morning by our Air Force Junior ROTC Commander, Cadet Leighton Tippy. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today is the 19th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks in our country, which killed nearly 3,000 people. As we observe our moments of silence this morning, please remember the victims, their family, and everyone impacted by this terrible event in our history. Keep our service members and others all over the world who are currently defending our country from future attacks in your thoughts and prayers. We will now observe a moment of silence. morning, everyone. Today is Friday, September 11th, and here are your morning announcements. Congratulations to Cameron Moore. On our last day of regular school last year, Cameron won our pi memorization contest by reciting 137 digits of the number pi. As promised, he was awarded $1 per digit earlier this week, and now he's $137 richer. Be listening for your opportunity to win cash like this in March of 2021. Football homecoming runoff ballots are on the Class of Google Classroom. Teachers, at this time, please allow students a few minutes to vote. Voting will close at 1 o'clock today. For lunch today, there will be a choice of teriyaki chicken or grilled cheese. In the cafe, there will be a beef taco salad. Everyone have a great day.
Okay. So,
Excuse us, one more announcement. Just a reminder, students, we have our first home football game tonight. Due to the COVID procedures that we had to do for the allowable attendance in the venue, general admission tickets are not available. So what that means is if you do not have a voucher that you would have been given already, you will not be able to just show up and go to the football game. It will be on Tubetown, on Facebook, YouTube. You'll be able to find it there. But again, just general admission to the football game tonight will not be allowed if you do not have one of those pre-assigned vouchers. And if you don't know what I'm talking about there, that means you don't have one. So again, the pre-assigned vouchers are your ticket to get a ticket. If you do have a voucher, you will show up at the ticket booth and then you will be allowed to buy the ticket to get in. So to avoid the confusion, students, just realize if you do not have the voucher, you will not be allowed inside the game tonight. Thank you.
okay. So on Google Classroom, if everybody goes to our Google Classroom, 1A, there is a STAR testing link. Okay, it says STAR testing. Maybe if I showed it up here. If you click on that link, now some of you I'll need to probably look and see. It's supposed to be your first initial and last name for your username, and then your lunch code for your password. Okay? Yeah.
I can find it for you.
They haven't even told me nothing about lunch break yet.
Well, okay. Noah, yours should be 9332. Alexis, yours should be 9345.
And she may be, is she A. Jones with the number?
Let me see if it lets me get into Renaissance under your class. It might not. I know I can get in under my own kids.
Oh, I can, let me see.
They let me log in.
It did? Okay, let's see. Okay, Christy got in. Okay, so once you get in, go ahead and start test. Go ahead and start the STAR test.
have each class and not hand it in that it didn't average it, but evidently it does. Am I wrong about that?
Mm-mm, it does.
I mean, these people are absent, so it's not, you know what I mean, they're gonna get to redo it, but now I'm like, I don't want them to see that. So do I just leave it blank, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess I don't have to have anything in that. I thought that the NHI was not handed in, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's freaking out when I saw that average of 13. I thought, oh, no.
Yeah, it does. It's the same as like having a zero there. Yes, did you get finished? Okay.
I think the only one not done is Christie.
Oh, okay. Well, the next thing we're gonna do, guys, is just finish lesson 2.
on 29 of 35.
Okay. Okay, looks like she got done. All right, so if y'all would, okay, yeah, Christy got that. Okay, so we're going to go over, finish up lesson 2. So if y'all would get that out and let's look at it about the car sales. It was a car prices. Okay, let's see. Let me move this out of the way. Okay. This is where we left off, and I just wanted to finish up this lesson. Let me get. So Christy, we're looking at lesson 2.4 about the car prices. Okay. Well, where's my little? All right, so you had to write an equation to describe these relationships. Okay, so what is something that we know from our reading? Like on letter A, what do we know there already?
The car price was $9,500.
Okay, so we know that on letter A, that the car price is $9,500. Now, when we look back at what else we need to think about when we write the equation, what is something else that they told us? When you look at it, it was up here in this top paragraph. Right, that the sales tax or the tax was 6%. Now, do y'all know how to change that percent to a decimal? Okay, what you do is you take, right now, the decimal's right here, okay? Well, it's not letting me put it there. Let's see if I, oh, what did I do just then? Okay, well, anyway, it's right here. Why won't it let me put that there? Okay. Well, you're moving the decimal 2 places, basically. So it becomes 0.06. Or another way to think about it is when you have percent, it's per what? 100. So you could think about it as 6 over 100. Either way, either as decimal 0.06 or 6/100. Okay, so what else did they tell us in that top description that we had to include? Right. So the miscellaneous charges of $120. So now we have to think about, how did that get there in the, right here? Okay, so now we have to think about, how can we write that in terms of an equation in purchasing the car? If you had to write out an equation, what do you think that would look like? Well, let's think of just the letters first, okay? What are we doing? Well, we know we have a total price, don't we? Right? So we have a total price. We'll say that it's TP, okay? And what would that total price be made up of? Right, the price of the car of P, what's, okay, okay, all right, so then you're gonna have the 6% times P, and then plus the miscellaneous charges, right? All right, so then let's plug in what we know, and I'm gonna write it over here so we can see it. So the total price, oh, no, not total price. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so the total price would equal 9,500, because we know that's the original price, plus the 6% times the 9,500, right? And then the $120. Okay? Y'all see how I got that? So sometimes you've got to maybe write the letters out and then put the values in. It might make more sense if you see the letters first and think about where the values go in its place that you know already. Okay, so we wrote letter A. Can we write letter B now? Okay, so let's think about it in terms of just letters. What would just as the variables, what would that look like before we plug anything in? Well, we're gonna have TP, aren't we? What is the total price gonna equal? Okay, all right, the chart, the 120, we can put that first. The 120 plus, right, so the price that we're given, and then plus what? What else is missing? The sales tax, right? So 0.06 times P. So that would be the original equation. And then you can go back and put in what you know. So the total price would eventually equal the 120 plus the 14,699 plus the 6%. Oh, I wrote that wrong. The 6% times the 14,699. Okay, does everyone understand how we're getting the equation? How you put it together? Anybody having trouble with that? We know we have the miscellaneous charges, okay? We know we have to pay the sales tax. So it also, the original price, all of that has to be added together, you know, to get the grand total of it all, okay? The only thing is the sales tax, of course, you find that by multiplying the percent times the price, okay? Everybody okay with this so far? Anybody lost? All right, so now in letter C, they're writing it a little bit different, okay? A little bit different. So how do we show that? I mean, what did they give us in this one? Right. So TP is equal to 22,480. But does it change the equation, the form of the equation at all? No, it doesn't, does it? You still have the same equation, but the amounts, what you're plugging in looks a little bit different, doesn't it? Okay, so how would that equation look? Yeah, now we could write out the variables first. What would the variables look like? Just writing the equation with variables only. What would we say? Well, we know we've got TP, right? Equals M well, yes, the original price of P, that's right, plus the sales tax, right, of 0.06 times P, okay? So that would be the equation with just variables. Now, let's put the numbers in that we know. So what do we know in this case? Good, 22,480 equals, do we know what M is? 120, if I can find my pen, 120. But at this point, do we know what the original price is? No, so we just leave P alone. But do we know the sales tax? And what would that be? 6%. Okay? So here's the thing, guys. If you don't know everything, the whole of values, you don't know what the values represent, can you put a letter in to hold its place value? Yes. Yes, you can. And that's what we're doing. We're taking the unknowns and assigning variables to it to identify what it would look like in an equation. Okay, so letter D is a little bit different because they want you to say, not D, D is just saying the original price is P. Well, so we don't know a whole lot, but we can still write the equation, can't we? What would it look like? TP $120, okay, 6% times P, and then plus P, okay? Everybody still with me? Okay, all right. So question 2. Now here's where they want you to think about it. We don't know what the sales tax is, and they say it's R percent. But again, percent is what? Per what? Per 100. So can you take the R percent and still put it in? You think about it, R percent is the same as R over 100, okay? It still represents the same thing that we showed as 6%. Okay, so now let's write the equation. So instead of putting in 6%, we're using R per 100, R over 100. So what would our equation look like? TP equals, well, let's do the variables first and then we'll go and plug back. M right, plus P, times P, okay? Now, is there a value that we know we can plug in this equation? Yes. So we don't know the TP, do we? No, we don't know it, but do we know what? 120, and then plus the original price, okay, plus P, plus R over 100 times P. So that would be the new equation. Okay? Anybody have questions over this lesson? And again, what we focused on this entire lesson, okay, lesson 2, was about taking those unknowns, changing them to variables, and representing a situation, okay? What's happening in this story, basically. Okay, so let's look at the summary. Now, in algebra, you can represent unknowns, unknown quantities, just by using variables and drawing out the equations, okay? You have to look for what you want to represent and be able to, to show that in your equation. So look at this. We've talked about at least 3 different ways that we've done it. And so here is going to the museum. The admission is $7 per person, and the renting of a bus is $180 per day. Okay, so they tell you if you have 24 students and 3 teachers, okay? So they show it in 2 different ways. We know it's $7 per person, so that would be 7 times the 24 students, or 7 times, and plus 7 times the 3 teachers. Then you have to pay for renting the bus for 180. So that's one way. Here's another way. You could add up the total people, couldn't you? Then multiply times 7 and then add 180. So that's one way you can represent that quantity. They change it up. 30 students, 4 teachers, but it's still the same equation. It's just the values changed. Okay? So again, what you're doing is you're reading the situations or the paragraphs and sentences that you need to change into an equation and pulling out what you need to know. So here they tell you the cost of the admission is the number of students plus the rental of the bus, okay? So it depends on how many people are going, kind of like our pizza party, didn't it? The pizza party depended on how many people we had going. So they show it in terms of variables. Total cost is equal to 7 times students plus teachers plus the 180 for the bus, okay? Now, they break it down. It says sometimes the quantities are fixed. Okay, think about, what do you think fixed is telling me? Define, yes. They tell you exactly how many are coming. So sometimes it can be fixed. So in this example, they said that we knew we're paying $180 for sure for the bus. That's a fixed quantity, okay? But what changed or could change was the number of people, okay? So sometimes you do have letters that are constant, okay? That could be the same value every time, but then you could have letters that could have a different amount, okay? All right, and that's what they talk about here, that the bus rental was the same, it was a fixed amount, and that the number of people varied. And so that could change your cost, your total cost. Okay? All right. So questions about this whole lesson again was all about taking what we didn't know, making an equation to figure out how we could solve it at some point. Okay. All right. So we have a cool down. Okay? We have a cool down. It says a school choir needs to make t-shirts for its 75 members. It set aside some money to pay for them. So the members of the choir decided to order from a printing company. They charge $3 per shirt plus a $50 fee for each color. Okay? So on question 1, okay, you need to write an equation to represent what they're asking for, okay? And then in question 2, it's asking which of those quantities could change, which of them could change, and then which one is set, okay? Which quantities are fixed that won't change. So right now, go ahead and answer the cool down. It should be after the summary, Joshua.
It's after the practice problems.
Oh, it's after the practice problem. So sorry. So sorry. Did you find it? Okay. All right, so Christy, can you find it? It's after the practice problems. It says cool down and shirt colors. So it's at the very end of all the practice problems. All right. Do I need, Christy, do I need to put it on the Google Classroom? Yes, okay. All right. Just 1 second and I'll get that done. I just thought about that. That I should have put that. Oh, and I should have signed in, not that way. Yes. It's Friday. I'm telling you, all my family most of them are off today. The ones that had to work got to go home at 9:30.
There's off today.
So I was still over there visiting at 11:30. Peyton didn't have to work today. My mom and dad are retired. My sister's off today, and I'm like, okay, people.
I'm gonna break and stay up that way. I can do it.
I guarantee you, Peyton and Chloe are still in bed. I should just call them.
Hey, what you doing?
Y'all aren't up already? Okay, so here's the cool down. I need to download it. I am doing it, Christy. I'm sorry. It's taken me a minute. Okay. So now I need to go back to Google Classroom. I have to talk out loud to know, to remind myself what I'm doing. So once you get the cool down done, if you want to um, tear it apart from that packet and put your name on it. Oh, that's not the right class. This second, Christy. There we go. Okay. It's probably going to be at the bottom. Algebra 2. Maybe. Oh, that's not it. Cancel. That's Algebra 1 is what I'm looking. There we go. Algebra 1. Algebra 1. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so Christy, you'll probably have to open it up and as a Google Doc. Oh, I know what else I gotta do. I gotta be able to let you make a copy. And I need to also put it here and here and there and sign. All right. So,
Did you say turn this in?
uh-huh.
Wait.
Yes, yeah, I want you, um, I'll take it and then let's talk about the practice problems that I want you to do. Because some of those are from unit 1, and you won't have to do those. So, are you still working on the pull down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let me go back to this. Okay. Actually, let me look at it. Now, let's see. Where's my cursor? Well, okay. Okay, let's see. All right, so you should be able to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7 and 8. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. And I need to put those over in Google Classroom too. Okay. Got it?
Mhm.
Okay, here, let me give you this. This back. You know. All right, so Christy, on the practice, you only have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. Okay? And it's on Google Classroom as well.
What were the ones I got to do?
Okay, let's see. Uh, type that in the chat because I missed what you said. That scared me. Did that scare you? She said she's having trouble with her internet.
Oh, she forgot the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh,
7, and 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8.
yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Josh, you could be working on those. Yeah,
Little less than 15 minutes.
and sometimes, guys, on what you'll find in this curriculum, oh, I have your lesson 1, don't I? I was gonna say, sometimes they repeat. So I'll get this all back because I got the grades in on this lesson 1, so I'll give it, you can, I think I returned it already to you guys. That I've got graded. So y'all can have this back to look at it. You want to keep these lessons, okay? So just look in Google Classroom. I returned the grades to y'all. You should have got an email possibly. Okay? Because I put the grades in Google Classroom. I've got to post it to eSchool. I gotta do that yet, but I did get the grades in.
5-week grades are on 9/25.
Okay,
I know that was gonna sneak up on it.
yeah, I need to write that.
How do you check your grades this week?
It's on the home access center. It's the same place that you look for like your attendance.
How do you do your password stuff?
That's a great question.
It's Tracy Wiseman.
Yeah, I mean, I think the login is your email address. And then I think, or the username or login is your school email address. And then the password is usually like, what's that, 2021 or something like that.
Let me send,
Sometimes your tribe teacher can,
yeah, let me send the email to, Miss Wiseman.
yeah, and then she can email, because that'll show if you have parties or absences, anything like that. It'll
Of course, okay, really? My crazy computer jumps around. Okay. So I sent her an email, so hopefully she'll reply to you. It may be Monday, but. All right. Does everybody know what we're doing? Okay, so Christy, are you good? Can you give me a thumbs up if you're okay? Okay, all right. If you need me, well, just email me, okay? All right. Thanks for your hard work today. I'm going to end the Zoom, all right? Bye. Have a good weekend.